Welcome back to Grid Drop. Today, we're going to help you get faster around one of Formula One's newest tracks, Miami. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave any feedback or questions in the comment section, or my Discord, which is linked in the description. That being said, let's get right into it. This video will be broken down into 5 sections. Car setup, Sector 1, Sector 2, Sector 3, and finally, a full lap. These sections are all equally important, so stay tuned to the end of the video if you really want to improve. So here's the setup I run in Miami. Feel free to pause the video and screenshot this if you want to try out this setup on your own. This setup prioritizes front end grip and rotation while ensuring rear stability when exiting corners. As a disclaimer, this setup is a general baseline for you to start with and applies to both hot laps and a race. I recommend doing a few laps with this setup and tweaking it to fit your own style. Into the first corner of Sector 1, stick to the left side of the track. I like to extend the track and ride my left 2 wheels on this curb since it's just painted onto the track and won't really affect braking. There are a cluster of reference points to use for braking here. The first is this electronic flag sign, then the 100 meter board, and lastly where this red and white curb begins. All of these represent a good braking point into this first corner. Under braking now, start to slightly turn in just after the 50 meter board, but only really enough to get you off the curb. Once off the curb and approaching the corner, take a much sharper turn into the corner, keeping your eyes on the apex. Try not to touch this inside curb as it can destabilize your car. At mid-corner, start getting back on the power and naturally sway into the middle of the track. Try not to extend all the way to the left here, you need a good line into the next corner. In the middle now, start increasing to full power, but be very cautious here, it's easy to put the power down too quickly and lose rear stability. When pulling into this next left-hander, I actually lift the throttle just slightly to make sure my front wheels have enough grip. For this left, make sure not to touch this inside curb as it will almost certainly spin you out. Opening up to the wide right-hander now, again, make sure not to touch this inside curb as this one is also pretty harsh. At this point, you should be at full throttle. Stick to the curb for a bit before widening out on exit and fly down this short straight. Stick to the wall on the right now and prepare for a very fast left-hander. You want to be turning into the corner once you reach this electronic flag sign. Here, I only like to slightly lift off the throttle, keeping about 60% power and staying in 7th gear. Once pulling into the corner, start increasing the throttle again at the apex. You can get back on the power quickly here as you maintain grip through the high-speed corners. Stick to the inside curb for the entirety of the corner here, as the next one is a right-hander. Into the right now, start braking just before where this curb begins on the right. I brake about 15% here and maintain at least 30% throttle. This is also a high-speed corner, so you want to maintain throttle while inputting minimal brakes. Downshift twice through the corner and continue to stick to the inside curb. For this one and the last one, definitely do not touch the curbs. Let the car sway out to the left on exit and stick to this next inside curb. Now, try to feel for rear stability around this corner. With such high PSI on the rear tires, full throttle around this corner can be a little bit sketchy. Depending on the lap, sometimes I lift about 10% to make sure that I can keep the car stable. Once the corner opens up, widen out to the right. On the right curb now, watch for this yellow writing on the right. As soon as you pass this last letter, start braking. This is kind of a distracting reference point as you have to look away from the track, so after a couple laps, try to just feel out where you should be braking. The braking here is not to 100% as you have to turn the wheels at the same time. A harsh jam of the brakes will result in an instant lockup. Here, I brake about 50% and slowly bleed off as I turn sharper and sharper into the corner. Try to follow the curb on the right, and once the left side opens up to the corner, increase the gas and consistently increase the steering to pull the car in. Once at the apex, increase to full power, but make sure not to be too aggressive as this area of the track can be a little bit slippery. Now you can cut this curb and fly down the straight. So that's a look at Sector 1, now let's see it at full speed. On the straight now and approaching the first corner of Sector 2, stick to the right side of the track and watch for the 100 meter board on the fence. You want to brake about a car length before this point. Under braking now, shift down to 2nd gear and turn into the corner. This is a pretty standard heavy braking corner, so nothing too important to point out here. Once at the apex, get back on the power and keep towards the right side of the track. Increase to the highest percentage of throttle you can here, which can range from about 80 to 100%. Aim to cut this inside curb, and the second it tightens up, brake. This is a very slight input on the brakes here, but this corner is tight, so you need to make sure you don't run wide. Slowly moving off this inside curb under braking, stay slow for just a split second longer than you think you have to, as you have to pull back into the right here to make this a double apex. As you come in for the second time, start getting back on the power, and again, just try to get the highest percentage of throttle you can. Now, cut onto this inside curb, but as soon as you come off of it, brake. This is a tricky braking zone as you have to turn the wheel under braking, so locking the front left is incredibly common. To mitigate this, try braking about 60% just a bit earlier and keeping the wheel as steady as you can, aiming to create the straightest line possible before turning into the corner. Under braking now, swing out to the right curb before sharply pulling back into the left. Here, you want to cut as much of this inside curb as possible, and immediately after the curb, transition your steering to the right. This one has an orange sausage curb on the inside, so try to avoid going over that, but otherwise take the full red and white curb. Now, off the curb and back on the left side of the track, increase the power and pull to the right. Right as this curb begins on the right side, brake and turn into the corner. You can use plenty of this inside curb as well. Now, sway out to the right, put the power down, and enable DRS at the line. That's a run through of Sector 2, now let's see it at full speed. Sector 3 is really only one corner. On the right side of the track, watch for the 150 and the 100 meter boards. You want to brake exactly halfway between these two boards. This is a very heavy braking zone, so make sure you hit 100% brake pressure and shift all the way down to first gear. Once the corner opens, turn in, but it's a little bit sharper of a turn than it looks, so make sure you have enough steering. Once at the apex, start getting back on the power and sway out to the right. This section is also a little bit slippery, so be cautious when putting the power down. Make sure it's a consistent increase of the throttle and that the wheels are mostly straight. Once back on the power, cut close to this inside curb on the left, then this inside curb on the right, and finally enable DRS at the line. So that's a look at Sector 3, now let's see it at full speed. Now let's take a look at a full lap. So there you have it, a full lap of Miami broken down corner by corner and sector by sector. If you want to see more track guides on F124, have any questions or need more tips, feel free to leave a comment on this video or on my Discord. Anyway, if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.